Hey everybody, welcome back to Stone Face Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're back here to watch more 86. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, and Theta, you got a lot of thoughts. So let's start with Theta's thoughts. What are your thoughts?
Uh, well, I didn't get a chance to go through everything like I normally like to. A lot of editing and shit to do lately, so I really only had a chance to just
Mhm.
blanket statement some things. I do have a couple of doozies in here, but I'm gonna put them in last. So
Sure.
YouTube audience, just skip everything as you normally do and go right to the end. But those of you who care, wait till the end.
I'm here.
Wait till those of you who care. Wait till the end. I got a big one. I got a big one that made me go, jaw dropper for me. So I'll start with the stupid shit first. Lena asked what the cat's name was before any of the 86ers.
No, none of the 86ers actually wanted to know. They just call it whatever they want.
No, I'm saying she asked what the cat's name was before any of the 86ers.
What do you mean then? Maybe I'm not getting you.
Okay, you know how on the internet you go by Griff?
Uh
Now imagine that you were in a Vietnam style war zone
huh.
and all I knew you as was Griff, and then I saw your dog on screen, and I said,
Mhm.
"What's your dog's name?" And then somewhere down the road, you're telling me how your family's died or some shit in the war zone. I'm like, Griff, what's your name? That I've expressed more concern over what your animal's name is than your name, and I did it to the animal first.
There we go. There we go. That's the salient point right there.
Well, I thought I was being pretty clear, but you
It
wanted to
took a
ask.
moment for it to all click. Welcome to Morning Griffin, everyone.
Right. Well, the best way to answer a question is with a story, so I've heard.
Well, when it comes down to it, cats are more important to people, so I completely understand.
Well, some
No,
people.
but that just reinforces the theme of the entire episode,
I
right?
mean, they've also put a bug in your head to make you care. So dogs
Hmm.
don't do that. Only bug a dog is worms.
Yes, the bugworm, of course.
There was a
So,
full
what's
there
your
was
next
a
thought?
full thought in the head, didn't make its way to the mouth.
Hi, welcome to So Face Reaction. We're slowly going insane because of the worms.
The bugworm.
So, what's your next thought?
86 has its own website, and I thought for a moment that it might be a good source of information, like how the Witch from Mercury one was. Well,
Yeah.
unfortunately, they keep that shit up to date and not spoiler free. It shows all of the characters' images, and I guess when they die, they gray them out, stamp them a red destroyed text across their face. Thankfully, I was only there long enough to notice this before clicking away.
Oh no, that's a good little visual feature, I think. But yeah, if you're there from the beginning and you're keeping up with the website, if you're that big of a fan, sounds cool.
Apparently, also the cursor is a bullseye, so when you click over people's faces, you're clicking the bullseye.
It has been some time since I've seen a website try to give me a custom cursor. That is delightful.
All right. In episode 3, Undertaker was reading All Quiet on the Western Front, which is something we've discussed a few times in relation to other shows we've reacted to, and in
Hmm.
general, just a great piece of media. It's also where the suggestion to name the cat Remark comes from. I think I'm saying the name right, obviously. I never
Yeah.
heard the author's name said out loud, so it looks
Right,
like
right.
Remark in the French way, even though it's not French. I believe he's a German.
Remark. I don't know.
He's a German
There's,
author, isn't he?
I don't remember.
But it certainly
I
looks like
don't
a
remember.
French name if I had to guess.
Wouldn't you know it, those two countries are actually adjacent to each other.
Wouldn't you know it?
Yeah, wouldn't you know it?
Are they? Isn't Belgium between them?
I'm just gonna sit here and smile at that one.
Well, no, just early morning Theta here, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Didn't Germany intentionally march through Belgium to get to France?
To get around the Maginot Line,
Right, I understand what the
which is
Maginot Line
their
exists.
border.
Yeah, I know. It was a failure of defense in the early century because they went around it, but alright, whatever. They have made it clear that maps aren't my thing at the moment. But,
We will be researching our geography, everybody.
well, no, it's just I understand the Maginot Line because that's like the big thing is how it failed. But the also big thing is that Germany, when it started its march, marched through Belgium. So,
Yes, because there's multiple countries there.
you know what also doesn't help people learn things, Griff, is when you laugh at them during the explanation.
I'm sorry, it's just funny knowing that I can see the image in my mind.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've seen a bunch of.
I also can't like send you a visual helper here because we're recording,
Well, I
so
mean, it's not. I don't need a
we're gonna
visual
solve it later.
helper. I'm just saying. I just in my mind, it's like clearly I'm thinking of like all the uh, my brain just stopped working. I was going to name a time period, and I just couldn't name it.
Mhm.
Obviously, I wasn't going to say World War II. I was thinking back to Renaissance and whatnot,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
countries' borders were changing all the time. But clearly, France and Germany are there. You know, Germany does split in two at one point in its history. Uh, sorry. Obviously, I'm not referring to post World War II either. There was a time where Gaul, the region, uh, Gaul. I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop. I'm not gonna win myself back.
We're going to go ahead and do an entire European history dive later, but for right
I've
now,
actually crash course. I've watched all the crash courses on
oh hell
world
yeah.
history. Yeah, that's good. Um, they stopped when they started branching off into all the other things because I was
Hmm.
more interested in history.
Of
I guess
course.
I guess it's good to know you can be good at history and bad at locations.
So what else you
I
got?
know Alexander the Great did this. I don't know where that is though. Um, Evidently, the author of 86 sometimes tweets out bits of lore about the show, and
Ooh.
thankfully I was handed this one in a spoiler-free manner, as the time date to the when it aired would have been where the show, when the episode we watches were.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of Raiden and Shin have been in the same unit for about 3 years, though they are the same age. Shin is 1 year senior in terms of military history, and Raiden's personal name, Werewolf, was given to him by Shin long ago. In
Mm.
addition, it's a bad word that says it's annoying because it bites you like a wolf.
Huh. All right. I guess at least we have some origins to the names, which we got that some last time. I guess we're gonna get more of that in the future. It makes sense, right? It's you can develop characterization around it easily.
So you said it makes sense, and I was trying to think of. It sounds so familiar, and I think I'm just thinking of Bethesda's "It Just Works." No, I'm sure there's a famous political line. It just makes sense. I just don't remember who says it.
Anyone could have said that one.
Well, no, I mean like as a election line.
But yeah, werewolf because it bites him. I feel a little confused. Maybe once we get to context, it'll start
No, it didn't
making
make
more
sense to
sense.
me when I was reading it either. Maybe it's a translation thing.
Could be.
Maybe the name
Maybe
werewolf
he's the
trans.
one who bit someone.
Well, no, I mean maybe the word werewolf in Japan also translates to other things. One of them being a bad word.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Dullahan, as Undertaker says it is his brother, is also the name of a headless spirit, like the headless horseman. I have to wonder if that relates at all to my theory about him being the link that allows Undertaker to know what is happening with the Legion. The
Hmm.
whole raid connection thing still happening post mortem, or if it will just be a hint to how he dies headless.
Ooh. Hmm. All right, here's a random theory. What if the brother's linker device, he took it off and slapped it onto a robot, and now the robot is connecting through the linker all the time?
We don't know how they work. Like,
Yeah, we
I.
got no idea. We're just speculating.
Well, no, I don't even mean like how. Sorry, I wish at some point, like, my thoughts, I could just choose to project them through my eyes as like a little screen or something, so that when I'm imagining something, you're not like going off on a tangent on something I'm not thinking about, and you just see the anime images going through my head. No, I'm just thinking that
You can with the power of editing.
we don't know that they're just little clips on their ears, like we've seen, or the handler with the thing around her neck, that maybe
Yeah.
they're actually tied to their nervous systems. So
Mhm.
that you wouldn't be able to just clip it off, that it would be something wholly unmanageable.
Right, right. But hey, if someone's head gets clean removed, that makes removing it easier, right?
I don't know. I don't know. That's why I'm saying maybe, and only maybe.
Mhm.
Undertaker has 561 nameplates. We've seen that Spearhead Squadron has 24 Juggernaut pilots in it. That is almost 24 entire squads of the dead that Undertaker has in nameplates. Hell, Undertaker has been in the service for about 5 years, right? That's
Yep.
basically witnessing a death every 3 days for 5 years. No wonder the man is so stoic.
Yeah, it looks like you did the math before I did, which is like, hey, how often do they get into combat? Answer? Well, probably about every 3 days, given this.
Well,
Unless they have some really bad days.
yeah, just keep in mind, Griff, it's a lot easier to do the math before you than to look at a map before you. Well, I don't know. You say that, but I did locate that the show might take place in Tunisia, so I do look at maps sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, here's the big one. Griff, did you
Yeah.
notice that the opening of the show changes?
It does? Oh no. I'm gonna have to pay real attention now.
Here's my problem is I'm going to lay
Alright.
off of notes here. The opening changes. Dot 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 capital show images dot dot dot. So
The part you didn't get around to.
no, I'm doing it right now. So I'm going to show you. Let's see. Hopefully this isn't covering up your camera, but let me resize it just in case. All right, let's see. I'm going to work with the obvious one first. Boom, these two. I think I have text to read. It looks like that
Right, remove
everyone
dead character.
that is going to die is going to join us in the field of cherry blossoms. And we seem to have a lot of room to grow into. We see that there were two destroyed members before Lena joined as the handler, which was
Mhm.
Walpurgis and Artemis. And then Sirius, Cujo, died in episode 1, so that's our initial 3. Now, hard to read names. Blut. I think that's a Blut.
Blue.
That's an umlaut U, so Blut.
Blue. Yeah.
Kirschblut joins them. So that's the easy to see thing. That I don't know if you missed it or not. You might have.
I probably did, but this is a pretty easy one to catch, I think, once we start watching today.
Okay, well here's the thing that like blows my mind a little bit more and makes this show a bit more appreciable,
Go
given
for it.
level of detail. Tell me what the difference is between these two images, Griff.
I mean, these two. One is further to the right.
Oh wow, you've pinpointed where in the 1 to 2 seconds it appeared on screen that I took the screenshot.
Let's see. Everyone seems to be in about the same pose here. I can also make them walk if I like go left and right really fast.
Well,
Everyone still seems to be there.
I think I'd point out that they'd be shuffling, not walking, if that was the case.
Yeah, we can get the shuffle going. I'm not noticing difference. What am I looking
It's
for
good to know
here?
that you two suck at the notice the difference game.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I've never been good.
You see the guy who's like showing you how big the fish he caught was?
Yeah, yeah, hands up in the air.
You don't notice anything different about around him?
Uh oh, right, there's one missing short character right next to him.
Yeah, Kirschblut. Kirschblut.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, we'll be removing them from here and sending them to the flowery field.
Yeah, also it looks like they get removed from the group shots earlier in the opening as well, which means we can expect the cherry blossom field to fill up with people, and every other shot in the show, or in the opening rather, is just gonna get lonelier and lonelier.
I'm waiting for like they get to the end of this season or something, and they're just like two dudes waiting still or something.
Well,
That'll be like positively tragic.
the thing that makes me appreciate this one more is that I think that last shot there is on screen for maybe a second and a half. You really, really have to notice it.
Well, at least now we know what to focus in on.
Well, just saying, it's that level of detail that somebody's like, well, they're never going to notice. Well, I'll notice. And just like, cut her out and put her in some other page.
So, Theta, that all your thoughts?
I guess other than the fact that everything that we've seen so far has happened over the course of 1 month.
Mm-hmm. So they've had 2 fights in 1 month then.
3.
Or maybe 3, yeah. If we
Well,
got the
there's
introductory one.
Well, yeah, it's the one before Lena becomes their handler, where 2 people died, Walpurgis and Artemis.
Which means that they're kind of behind the average death count right now, if we're going with that 5 years of service number from before.
Well, no. No one from their unit typically dies. Well, that we've seen. Except for the 3 that die. Well, 2 that die off screen, 1 that dies at the very beginning of the show. I mean, we're on a pace of now 1 every 2 episodes. But typically, as I've said, 24 squadrons worth of people have died. And Undertaker, I think, said it's his job to remember these people. Not 24 squadrons have cycled through this one squadron. My understanding is that 24 other squadrons may have just completely bit the bullet. And he's taken the bits for them.
There you go. Maybe that'll make more sense.
That'd be insane turnover.
Still expecting 7 more characters to die, though.
Like I said, we're on pace for like 1 to 2 every 2 episodes.
So, I guess with all that, I want to talk about what happened last time.
Well, I mean, you do.
I do, which will be the real name. Theta is chastised by Raiden for his rant. Even though they don't disagree with what he said, they do find issue with how he said it, and they're now convinced that Lena will transfer out. Meanwhile, Lena is left to reflect on idealism, especially after talking with her uncle and Annette, and realizing how she's still subconsciously prejudiced against the 86s. She privately calls Shin to apologize with how she acted, and asks him to give her a real name of the Spearhead Squadron members. Shin further explains that in his original unit, it was a custom for the longest surviving member to preserve the names and memories of the members killed in action, so they will not be forgotten. Shin has carried this responsibility with him to the Spearhead, and has collected 561 to date. Hey, it's that number again. Shin then connects
to Lena. I didn't make it up.
Yeah. Shin then connects Lena to the rest of Spearhead, where she apologizes to them for making assumptions about them, and asks them to tell her their real names, and tells them her name in return. Theo also apologizes for Lena for the way he delivered his rant, and while Spearhead ultimately accepts Lena's apology and accepts her as their handler, they remind Lena that as long as she commands them while safe behind the Republic walls, they will never view her as a true equal to them. Later that night, Lena calls Shin again, realizing that he never told her his name. When Shin tells Lena his name, she then asks if he knows a man named Shoiru Noizen, and Shin reveals that Shoiru is his brother. So, that was about where we left off last time, where she's like in the War Memorial Garden having that talk. So, I guess the question is, what is she going to do with that information next?
Sorry, I just got trapped in my own mind for a minute.
Lost in Theta space.
Well, there's that I don't know. I guess it's the thing that makes me the bad guy and everything.
Uh-huh.
That moment where you were saying they'll never truly accept her as an equal if she's safe behind the walls and everything, and it was just a number of like red flags went off in my head. It's like, I don't know. I could equate this to real life shit. That would make me the real bad guy here. If I, well, I mean, it's like, do you want to be equals with the people who are gonna get killed? But I mean, at the same time, clearly you're not equal. You're in a far superior position. And
hmm
then shouldn't it be, until we're all inside the walls as well, we'll never see you as equals? Why does it have to be until you're out here about dead, we'll never see you as equals?
Ultimately, probably because it's on the people who are privileged to give up that privilege, not on the people who are without it to somehow climb up.
No, 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 no.
That's the reverse of how things are fit.
No, you're reversing because you want to see people in privilege brought down. Why wouldn't you want yourself raised up? Why not raise people up instead of bringing people down?
Again, because they're not equals, like you said. That's the underclass. They're being sacrificed so that the people inside the wall can be privileged. That's the whole point.
Right.
Not everyone is going to get inside the walls because the walls exist on slave labor.
No, they were built with slave labor. They don't continue to exist on slave labor.
Sure looks like we got a slave battalion to me.
Well, okay, here's the answer to that, Griff. There's no slaves within the walls, right?
Not that we've seen so far.
Right, because you wouldn't want them inside because they're dirty, right? That's the kind of gist that we're getting at here. They're pigs. Right? So there's no slaves
All
within
right.
the wall, right? So who's doing maintenance on the inside wall?
Probably just somebody working.
Right. So there's no slaves within the wall. So it's a privileged position entirely on the inside. I don't know. I just don't understand.
I feel like maybe you're missing my point.
No, I think I actually just forgot what my point was when I started the whole who fixes the inside of the wall thing. My point is, everyone always takes the privileged need to be brought down. No one ever says, let's elevate ourselves to the privileged, right? Or when you do, those people are always the bad guys too, right? It's always, did you ever see the movie They Live?
Don't think so.
Roddy Piper and, God, I can't remember his name. Epic fight scene in a back alley to put the glasses on to see the alien propaganda. But
I've definitely seen bits of it, but
there's
not the whole thing.
there's the one guy who sells everyone out to, become one of the guys who's behind all the propaganda. Because, now we got it good, guys. He has a southern thing to himself.
Yeah.
But, those are always the bad guys, the people who want to raise themselves up. Never. It's always the good guys that want to bring everyone down. And I'm just saying that, oh God, it's hard to put this into a mentality that's easy to agree on, because I understand where you're coming from. That
Yeah.
you've got to bring the high ups down in order for the resources to be spread out to bring everybody to equality. But at the same time, the 1%ers have so fucking much that they could lose 98% of it and still be 1%ers. And my idea here is that we could raise those 1%ers could raise everyone up to be just like them and lose nothing.
And now you know how I radicalized to hating them.
I'm just saying, I would rather
Exist.
I would rather a world where everybody has everything that they need in perpetuity than a world where we're all digging through the mud because we've ruined everything just to make sure that those 1%ers tasted a little bit of what we got.
Look, give me that one billionaire who gives away 99% of their stuff every day. We'll talk. We'll come back to that later.
Right. I understand that you're talking that people don't act that way. It's
not happening here in the show, right?
That's what I'm just saying. It's my understanding is that people don't act that way, sure, but I'm just saying that if we're going to create idealistic scenarios, then why don't we create one that's better for us and not worse for them?
It's also totally like what's in the future of the show is she's absolutely going to go to the front. Now the question is her helicopter going to get exploded like her father's on her way up to the front? That's what I'm wondering right now because she's already stirred too much of the pot.
I mean, do you think that the wall has a gate?
They send supplies out there. It would only make sense for them to.
Well, I mean, they could have shit.
If they're only
What do you
airlifting stuff,
call
I have
what do you call those
logistical
devices that
concerns.
they clean the windows of skyscrapers on?
I'm not sure in particular. Elevators, gantries,
Well, I mean,
scaffolding.
no, scaffolding is static. These raise up and down.
Right.
But mechanically, they would have a name that separates them from other things, and you could put supplies up and down on those.
Platform.
But the idea being is that if you wanted to wholly separate yourself from the people on the outside, then why would you ever give them the option to get in? Or why would you ever concede to yourself that you might want to get out if you want to say that this place is perfect?
Because you want to make it easier to move stuff outside of the walls in a hurry when you need to defend it. Like, I'm presuming that there's some logical, common sense concern for
Griffin,
defense and logistics. No idea if that's true.
Griffin, these people have a picture of a pig arrow human, okay, in their books.
You make a compelling case that they might be very stupid. I agree.
It's a fascist government that took over in 2 weeks and convinced existing people that we all evolved from pigs, except for some other people who are still pigs.
Right. So let's see how far the idiocy goes.
Their high-level medical technology is actually all advertisements for PowerPoint. Remember this. There is nothing in this show that tells me that it's intelligent design. Also, remember
turn around.
Also, remember that the 86ers built the wall.
We're about to like turn around and find out that like everything is just Powerade or something. Like Brondo is being sprayed on crops or something.
I would say Powerade is real.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot what the fake one was for
Power Thirst.
Power Thirst is also real.
It's not the one with the many funny commercials. When God gives you lemons, find a new God.
There we go. I drink to that. So
was that Power Thirst, like the Thirst Mutilator or something like that?
Yeah, the Thirst Mutilator. Gosh, I would. That's like so old.
So many babies. Yeah, I think it's like early college humor or something like that.
Yeah, it's real early college humor. Oh man, put that in a museum. All right. So Theta, you got any more thoughts before we see just how stupid these guys are?
Yeah, that would be the Wayback Machine.
All right then. So in that case, let's go ahead and watch. But before we do, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can go ahead and watch us over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but no pressure. It's all to support the channel, just a little bit extra.
Click the link down below, join the Discord, spam Griffin with your revolutionary theories.
Right back in the fire.
Was that 6 years ago?
I think so. But yeah, that's some Terminator shit.
Well, now we know how he died. That's some Terminator shit. Sorry, you just took me out of the show, Griff. The automated army of AI-controlled machines is some Terminator shit, did you say?
Yeah.
We're on episode 5? So we're on episode 5 into goo. That's as bad as being maps. Okay, so helicopter crashed, her father's dead.
And she gets saved, like she said.
Well, we don't know the manner of how it all happens. We're just figuring it out.
Glasses dude.
Dual hand. His first name better not be James. Looks like there's more than one helicopter.
I think there were a few in formation with it, if I remember, from like the pan back. Oh, we're sticking to this. We're not just flashbacking.
It was pretty dumb to take your daughter to work day.
甘いものならこんな時でも食べられるかなって思ったんだけど、それともチョコレートは嫌いだったかな。
Find me a kid that doesn't like chocolate.
お父様が私たちは86の人たちにひどいことをしているって。なのにどうしてお兄さんは私を守ってくれたの？
そうだな。
He's got to be very unpopular.
I think so, yeah. Still a nice dude. Uh,
So what, he got his Juggernaut? That's the same thing on the side.
mhm.
Okay. Our main 86er is from the Empire.
Left the Empire, joined a Republic. Republic started killing them.
Okay, in fairness, they're not killing them. They're just forcing them to be killed. There is a minute difference.
Don't use split arrows, Theta.
Yeah, it was 6 years ago.
お兄様は今どうなさってますか？
Screaming in my head.
5年前、この東部戦線で。
すみません。
いえ。前に除隊したらしたいことはあるかと聞きましたね。
ええ。
したいことは特にありません。ただ、しなくてはならないことはあります。
I have to start the revolution.
Thought you were gonna say that shit.
ずっと。
遺体をですか？
いいえ。
Oh, right, we got a mystery suddenly.
Cue me back in what it just said.
Alright. He's saying the brother's dead. He's been dead for 5 years, but after the war, I have to go find him, but not his dead body.
So I'm right, is what you're saying.
Oh, what do you mean by you're right?
Literally every time I've ever brought up a theory about what his brother is.
This in the ether, you mean?
Yeah.
I think we're definitely moving more and more towards that theory. Maybe that's what that like dead robot on top of the hill was for.
That or a couple of episodes from now, he is a actual fucking Terminator. And you're like, told you. Oh, that would took me out of it completely. It's just like fucking Terminator or something like that. It's like, yeah, it's like 1 for 1.
I'm just appreciating the vibes, that's all.
Here's the fields.
I
After
wonder if they're
this.
gonna move that corpse.
It's not real. It's not a real body.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
No, we mentioned that like the first thing. It's like the Ronald McDonald thing at on a bench.
I
Because
thought that was just our guess.
you can see it's torn open on the side. It's like hollow in the middle.
Ah.
おはようレイナ
Oh, you're actually in dress uniform today.
でしょクリームは合成物だけどイチゴは本物よあ、そうだ次の休み
We're gonna find out at some point she's sourcing all of this real food from somewhere horrible.
やっぱり
Oh, absolutely.
当たり前でしょグズグズしてたら腕のいいおはりこはみんな埋まっちゃうわよごめん今少し忙しいのレイナ最近付き合い悪いよ
It's like you're being slowly traumatized at the deaths of others or something.
聞いたわよまたお見合いしたんでしょまあロドルフね
By the way, this has to be something major too.
もしかして今度こそ
The whole finding a husband thing, because you gotta think, they took out a lot of their gene pool real quick in 2 weeks,
Oh boy.
all based on who has the same hair and eye color. There cannot be a lot of, let's say, babies that the Spartans would throw over a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to put this kindly.
今日はたまたま明け方まで戦闘の分析しててしつこいけど86なんかに尽くしても何にもならないんだからね
But didn't you already send them the maps?
She's doing more and more work, I think. What's funny is, of course, she was just told, hey, that puts stress in your brain, stop doing it so much, immediately goes to do it. She's treating it like a cell phone. ノーセン隊員には余計なことでしたかいえ、対局を含めた俯瞰からの情報分析は貴重です。特に敵部隊編成の予測が正確ですから、随分助かっています。ありがとうございます。よかった。ですが、
The competition for Undertaker.
あまり戦場にとらわれすぎると俺のようになりますよ。At the same time, maybe this person has never been known an obsessive nerd before. くだらないパーティーとハイヒールとドレスの窮屈さを革命祭ですか何か覚えていますか花火を見た気がします噴水のある庭園で宮殿前の宮殿もしかしてタイ以前は第一区にはっきりと
Yeah, I just realized
おそらくは
the scene from the flashback happened 6 years ago,
Yeah.
which means that they should have been in the city.
Maybe.
Well, wasn't it 5 years ago that the 2-week thing happened? God, I can't remember now. I've erased all of
We
my...
gotta get our timeline straight.
I erased all the dates from my previous notes as I was telling them to you, so I was like, fuck myself.
タイ今紹介行動中のはずですよね
Look, playing with the cat is way more important.
Well, just clap your books together or something. Let them know you're there so they can fucking stop doing it in public.
こちらでは何の警報も出ていませんがいいえ
He knows before anyone else does. Well, that was definitely like a very anime-esque ending to it, right? To that whole conversation.
Well, I mean, just showing off the decadence of the people within the walls. I mean, they're getting drunk, doing drugs in the main alley of the war headquarters, and...
同調を切ってください パラレイドなしでは状況が確認できないでしょう。同調は切りません。
忠告はしましたよ。
Oh, there's Cirrus, and there's Kid Blue destroyed.
アンダーテイカー
Kid Blue.
突出しすぎです。そのままでは包囲されて。何
Brother.
じゃない。
We're about to learn something interesting.
There's Artemis on the left.
'So they broadcast the voices of the dead to people to get rid of the conductors here.
死にたくない。
By the way, Kid Blue, Kyrie, or I don't know how to say her name. Yeah. You know, she said that in episode 1 as well.
Oh yeah.
When Cujo is marching along, bleeding out through his machine. She says, I don't want to die.
あの声。
All you're writing down these days are ink blots.
Well, no, remember? She held her pen against the page, like in episode 1 or 2. And obviously it's stained all the way through.
Right, right. Well, good to see the madness is already settling in. Her flower's already gone again.
I mean, this is what we've been talking about a long time, Griff. The consequences of using Pararate, I mean. I was really trying to figure it out, but unfortunately all they were giving me was an advertisement for PowerPoint.
じゃない。
I get to see old pre-war advertisements. With Alba on them anyway.
I think we've seen that image before somewhere.
No, I think you're thinking of the, Victory Woman.
Quite possibly. Getting some good action here, though.
Wait, what?
They
Is the
took her?
Legion... The Legion is made up of the dead? It's the Legion of the Damned, Griff!
Oh my gosh! It gets worse and worse every moment.
They're not only killing the invading Legion of AI, they're killing their friends. Oh man, this is Silence in the Library, too. Where you say the last thing that you said when you died.
Oh my gosh, yes, you're right. Oh, we're straight up in Doctor Whoville now.
Dr. Whoville, my favorite combination of Dr. Seuss and
Doctor Whoville and the Master Grinch who stole Christmas.
でもさすがに疲れてすぐに寝ちまうと思ったが案外寂しいのかね。この時間いつもなら。ああ。あの声を聞いた後繋いできたハンドラーはいねえ。また報告書書かないでよくなったな。
Why only your squadron, though? Why hasn't any other handler ever?
ええ、構いません。
Because they normally don't give a shit.
He'd
Well,
not
maybe
give a
that's
shit.
why the
That's so.
previous
That's
one-
fucking major. It's like, what? There's an afterlife? Don't. I'm done.
いえ。
The last one did kill themselves. Maybe there's a good reason now.
一体何ですか？
昔死に損なったことがありまして。というよりも多分その時俺は死んだんでしょうね。
Ooh.
だから聞こえる俺と同じ死んだくせに消えられないあの亡霊の声が。
亡霊？でもあそこにいたのはレギオンでしたよね。
彼らもまた亡霊でし
This
ょ
man is a master at
う。天国の
multitasking.
滅亡とともに存在意義をなくした亡国の軍勢なのですから。
つまりあなた方がレギオンの襲来を事前に察知できるのは。
ええ、彼らの声が俺には聞こえるからです。近づいてくればいつでも寝ていたとしてもわかります。
But the thing is,
いつも
they're not saying shit that the Empire of Dead people would say. They're saying your shit.
Right.
どれくらいの距離まで？
正確にはわかりませんが、共和国の旧国境内にいるレギオンは全て把握しています。
辛くないのですか？
To have the screams of the damned in your head all the time? Yeah, a little
付き合い
bit.
ですから。
いつから？
I don't know, he seemed more pained that she would ask him if it was exhausting
彼
than
女
he actually seems exhausted.
亡霊になっていたからですか？大尉。
この戦争はあと2年ほどで終わると共和国政府はそう予測していますね。
どうしてそれを？
セオが九段の隊長から聞いていたので、レギオンには寿命が設定されていて、その残り時間はあと2年弱。
I still think that's probably bullshit.
Yeah, same,
生
same.
物の脳を模したレギオンの中央処理装置、その構造図はあと2年で使えなくなります。
構造図が失われるなら、その前に別の構造図で代替すればいい。彼らの住む戦場にいくらでもある材料で。
まさか。
If they're modeled on real
人間の脳で
brains,
す。
then you
That's
put the brains
why
in.
they said they're torching. They torched her so they can't get the bodies.
共和国が葬ることを禁じた AT6 の戦死者の脳そのものでは腐敗してしまいますし、
Also explains why he shot him in the head.
を複数確認してもいますので、正確にはその構造のコピーだと思いますが、
では
多分カイエもまだどこかにいます。
So this is a virus situation
いわゆ
then.
る魂とは違うのでしょう。
The movie
元々人間の
virus.
意識があるわけでも、意思の疎通が図れるわけでもない。ただ死の瞬間の思考をコピーされただけの存在の残滓。
Right, the only time they get to copy them.
As you can see, it's hollow on the inside, Griff.
黒羊。
はい。
Just like the
白い羊の
machines.
中に紛れる。
No, we've literally had a whole conversation. The machines are filled with human body
もっと
parts.
も今では黒羊の方が多いですが。少佐、
You're not a black
こ
sheep,
の
are
戦
you?
争はあなたたちが負けます。
どういうことですか？
構造図を上書きしたレギオンは2年後も機能を停止しないでしょう。一方で AT6 はどうですか？今生き残っているのは子供だけ。それもほぼ全てが戦場にいます。俺たちはじきに絶滅するでしょう。その時あなたたちアルバは戦えますか？
No.
兵役も戦費の負担
No, they
They
are not.
absolutely
自
aren't.
分以外の誰かに押し付けることを覚えてしまったあなたたちが
それは。
できないでしょ
ですが、レギオンの数は減少しています。数年前から比べれば、もう半分近くにも。
う。観測できる範囲ではでしょう。確かにあなたたちが把握しているレギオンの数は減っています。しかしそれは後方に控える数を増やしているからに過ぎません。
戦力の温存と増強。信じられません。レギオンにそんな知能は。
ないはずだ。
We just told you we're putting our brains in them.
We went from fighting like automated drones to fighting the
少な
Borg.
からず損傷しています。
Oh, you said virus. I think virus is a more apt
通常のレギオンよりも
thing
高い
here.
能力を得る。
We'll have to talk about that at the end, I think.
もし彼らが損傷のない脳を手に入れたら、
Ah, yeah, there we go. The terrible possibility.
本来命令を受けて動くだけのレギオンを統率し導く亡霊たちの指揮官、俺たちは羊飼いと呼んでいますが、彼らが指揮する軍勢はそうでないものとは比べ物に
This
な
is
らない
oddly
ほど手強い
poignant
です。
for a Halloween series.
家庭ではなくすでに実
since we're facing basically zombies.
I do love the lore dump we're getting though. This is great.
よく通りますから。そう、この第一線区の奥にも一機います。
Oh, your brother.
It's going to be his dad.
No, the brother.
Her dad, sorry.
Brother! How is it not the brother, Griff?
そうなりますね。
それなら、その前にレギオンを壊滅させてしまえばいい。勝ちましょう。私も一緒に。いえ、私も全力を尽くします。敵情の分析も作戦の構築
And it fits in perfectly with the dual hand thing I was mentioning before.
ノーセン隊員、今年で任期満了なのでしょう。だから、それまでに勝利して。生き残りま
What the fuck do you think happens to me when my term of service is over?
Yeah, what are they gonna do?
Nothing. You just keep fighting.
もう消灯時間です。
At least when you're in the service, you got a juggernaut to protect you.
おやすみなさい。
So we got one person now who has the secret lore revealed to them.
But yeah, no, dual hand. Literally a headless ghost, right? Because your fucking head got taken and your brain got put into a machine. Yeah, what's he gonna do when the war is over? Get his brother. Because it's in the back of the first command area, commanding everything. Why would it be her dad who we literally saw die?
Oh gosh, this is amazing. This is a great little twist on everything. I'm so happy with this setup right now. We have immensely tangible and dire stakes right now that are also highly emotionally driven by the characters.
Well, it's also now that neither side is run by an AI. The AI side turned itself into people almost.
AI turned to zombies, yeah. The decompress in the shower scene.
お前のせいだ。もうすぐ行ける。兄さん。
Okay, so
They were
brother
about to.
tried to kill his brother when he was still alive, and now he's coming for revenge, or to free his brother, or both. I'm coming
The
for
answer's
you,
both.
brother. Well, he only smiles at weird times, so it's hard to tell what his exact emotion is. Not that his emotional state is clear to begin with, given everything he's been through, or is currently involved in.
Oh gosh, though. Oh, this is a lot to take in. All right, tell me about Virus, the movie.
Oh, you never saw Virus?
No, tell me all about it.
Like there's an electrical storm going through space. It hits the Mir, or I think it's either the Mir space station or it's the current space station that's up there.
Yeah.
And it gets transmitted down to Earth on like a science freighter thing, like one of Russia's giant science vessels that has like multiple satellite dishes.
Yeah.
And that's the last you see of it until another ship comes along, tries to salvage it, and they see on the inside that nobody's around. They've destroyed all the communications equipment. And, well, I'm just going to skip to it. Basically, there's like an artificial intelligence or an electric intelligence or something. It's taken over the computer systems. And it's using the bodies of the crew to make bodies for itself. So generally, well, it can also communicate. That's where the name of the movie comes from. It kind of goes through like the definitions of words and it denotes that humans are a virus by the definitions
right, we're
of
going
words.
with the Matrix explanation now.
Well, yeah, and like you got a guy walking through and it's all machine parts. It looks like a Terminator, but if the Terminator had been half destroyed, so you can see all the machine bits and everything, and it keeps part of its intelligence. Because it'll like be talking to its brother, like, "Come on, Jerry, we gotta go get the stuff," and it's, you know, it looks horrible. It's like a body horror Terminator thing, but it's generally the same idea. We're gonna use bits of you to make bits of us.
Right, and this is of course like the externality, like we were both like considering what happened. The robots had some way to multiply or change, and the answer is yeah, human brains. You still got the humans controlling the robots, just that the robots get to put their heads into robot bodies.
Yeah, I mean, I
Goofy, but I
knew,
also love it.
well, I knew it wasn't going to be over in 2 years. That made no, it made no sense. But I thought
Mhm.
it was going to be something else. I thought it was going to be more Terminator than it was going to be virus.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that they were just like taking over the world, and this is like the last place. Like, I still don't know because we still haven't gotten into it. Why there's
Mhm.
no response from the rest of the world? Like, are
Yeah,
we?
what are they up to?
I mean, I understand we're like 100 years into the future, right? So maybe all the stuff that looks super advanced to us here isn't advanced at all, and we're in like a third world country. So like the juggernauts and the AI controlled fighting vehicles is just like some warlord's war in a third world compared to the rest of where the rest of the world is 100 years from now.
Hmm.
So maybe that's why
Uh,
they're not concerned with it. Is what I'm trying to get at.
we do know at least now that the brain technology is the most advanced thing that they got right here. And the depths that it can go, where you can just straight up fully copy a person's entire knowledge and personality, just through a couple of few simple steps.
That's what I'm saying
Uh,
here. Like, but if
mhm.
we're like in the ass crack of the world, and like America is like we're past AIs. We've merged with the AIs. That's why they're not getting involved in this shit. That no one's left around to care.
Right. The stakes can still get even more dire, but I think within the scope of the show, they want to keep it pretty focused on the context of the two main leads here are the ones who are most emotionally invested in this brother character who now needs to be destroyed. They need to literally put the past to rest here.
Well, I mean, it's just commander of one segment.
Hmm.
So there's more
Yeah.
segments. We already know that they're only like fighting off one wave of Legion. So
Right, but suddenly, our female lead here now has like this information of how absolutely dire things are, and now the question is, so what does the command structure of Alba actually think about this? Do they know about it? What's their plan? Are they just gonna throw bodies at it and then just ride out the next couple years until everyone is destroyed, or
they've
or what's
literally already done that.
well, are
They
they going to do
literally
more of
said
that?
they can't. They can't. That's the point. That's why he said they're going to lose. They said
Hmm.
you've thrown bodies at it to the point all that's left are kids. And then when we are
Yeah.
done, they're just going to run over you because you don't have anybody capable of fighting anymore. Literally,
Yeah.
they beat our military in 2 weeks. And everyone that's left doesn't give a shit because you think we're going to win the war for you. And
Oh
we're
gosh,
out here saying, we, the most successful unit out here, is telling you we are not going to win the war. We're going to die, and then you're going to die.
that's the most hilarious thing that you just pointed out, which I think comes to think about. They lost the war in 2 weeks. Everyone who was in charge, everyone who was actually good at this, is already dead. All we have left now are the people who were the worst at it, and now everything makes sense.
Well, no, I wouldn't agree with that. Odds are you lost all your combat capable people. You still had the military commanders and everything who are still good at strategy and tactics. Um, they
We'd
prob
hope.
well, here's the possible scenarios. They survived. They had white hair and blue eyes and are still fine, or
Hmm.
they survived. They had brown hair and brown eyes, and then they got sent to the front lines to fight again. So either they're alive and fine in the command structure because they happen to be Alba, or they weren't Alba and they got thrown out with everybody else.
Right. So ultimately, things not looking really good for like the overall situation here, right? I wonder if there's any chance that they'll recover and actually succeed in the scenario, or if it's going to be totally tragic at the end. Everybody dies.
Again, our opening is filled with locations for put dead people.
That's a good point. So I think not holding out hope, but I'm here for the ride. Well, we do got a part 2.
What do you mean?
There is technically a part 2.
You mean a second
sequel.
season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can't die too fast.
I asked what did you mean because we're not even halfway through this season, so I didn't understand why you were pointing out that there's a second season. We haven't even reached the plateau of this season. I understand that there has to be more information to get dumped on.
Things will only get worse, and I'm really excited about it. So, Theta, any last comments about this episode you got?
I mean, there's so much. You know what? I'm probably just going to leave it to a Theta's thoughts next episode.
In that case, everybody go ahead and look forward to Theta's thoughts next time. Let's go ahead and wrap it up for the day. This has been Stoneface Reactions. I'm Griffin. That's Theta, and we'll catch you next time. See you around. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?